Came for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, and play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. Came for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. I'm on my job, I get it done, but you should know that. Shine like a sun, a 101, you should know that. I get the front and in the back, you should know that. No need to stun, it's never cap, you should know that. All I know, 10 toes, never fold, bang roll, on the go, ice wall, ice wall, ice wall.
It's game time, baby.
What's going on, Flo? What's happening, bro? How you doing?
Game time. Yeah, welcome. It's the bottom line. It's the Sunday Surge. I don't got all my stuff.
Nah, it's good, bro.
Bottom
We
line
good.
Sports Crew here on the Sunday Surge. I'm Flo. That's Can over there. No Omar today. Who knows if Jake's gonna show up? We'll see what happens.
No, look. Just
we partner up. Hey,
keep it cordial,
we'll talk
man.
about it. We're gonna talk about it. Hey, so yeah, welcome. We're part of the Bottom Line Sports Crew. 1.9K on the Facebook group. Partner up with Let's Talk
2,500 for
Sports.
Super Bowl, man. 2,500.
Let's go. And Daniel Berry.
What's up, Daniel
in
Berry?
the house. What's up? Well, appreciate you. Anybody out there, come find us on the Bottom Line Sports on all your platforms. We're locked in. It's game time. Let's put Canteen's favorite music on somewhere around here. I'm on the road here, as you can see. Different background.
My brother's in Lubbock, Texas, at his mom's place, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Flo, man.
Trying to be it on the road here. I'm trying to get to your thing. Let me see if I can get down there.
My favorite music.
That ain't it, man. I can't get to it. Anyway, welcome to the show. Trying to get down here to this bottom part here. I don't know why I can't scroll down there. I'm on the road, so I'm not quite ready for all this. We'll just play there until I can get to it for some reason. All right. Let me turn it down just a hair. Welcome to the show. Hey, let's see. So we're talking about your latest sports. I'll recap all your NFL action today on the Sunday Surge, NFL Sunday Surge. Who else is in the house? Jeremy. I told you. All right. I told you everyone. 34-13 Lions. Granted, it was 34-17, but wow, yeah. Hey, I gave the Bears a chance, Jeremy. I gave the Bears a chance because you guys are banged up defensively, so I thought Bears had a shot. So appreciate you, Jeremy. Jeremy, the Lions fans. Yeah. The Lions fan. Okay, so let's get into this week. Last week, we had a little,
let's get into it, bro.
little kerfuffle with Jake. So first of all, I'm going to say a couple things, and then we'll get into NFL, and then we'll get into the recap. But last week I threw Jake off. I thought he was being a little rude. I thought he was just jumping in, and it's okay. We talk over each other sometimes, but he wouldn't let nobody talk. In my opinion, I feel like him and Omar just blame me for it. I feel like Jake has some culpability in that. If he doesn't want to accept that, that's fine. But I apologize. I'm a big person.
Yeah,
I apologize. I should have.
Can I say something, Flo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, man. Hey, at the end of the day, guys, man, we're a 4-man crew, and we all err in certain ways, man. And I want to say this from me. It's coming from me, man. We've been doing a lot of shows together, a lot of football, basketball, all different sports and stuff. So we all err in certain ways. So just we error, make mistakes. Let's move on. Let's build from that. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
And
no.
Go ahead. So, somebody got to be the bigger person, and Flo, you're doing it, and I wish Jake and Omar, everybody else would be here. We got to be men about what we're doing, man. And that's it, man. That's it. Right. Let's talk sports, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into all this.
It is what it is. Yeah. I'll just say I'm not gonna kick anybody off. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and whatever you guys want to do, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna loosen the reins, and it's y'all show. I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's basically it. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Let's go. All right. So I don't know if Jake's gonna use this as an excuse not to show up since his Broncos lost, because that's the first game we got to talk about since it was the first game on the docket.
Yes, sir. Let's hit it, man.
He's gonna use this as an excuse. Last week as an excuse, I think, to not show up today.
Jake, if you can't do that, Jake. If Jake,
you want to save it? See if he shows up.
We'll save Jake's game. Let's move on. We're gonna save Jake's game. Jake, you better get here.
Let's see. I'll give him one game to get here. If he don't be here by then he ain't coming. He didn't respond to chat, so we'll see what happens. All right, let's hit your game, because I mean, I know it's not a big game, but you guys kind of stay in the race, beating the Giants and benching Kirk Cousins. Just give me a quick thoughts. You don't have to go through all the stats you can, but quick thoughts about Penix. I mean, he looked good, but he had some rookie things that he was doing. Your overall thoughts?
Here's my whole issue with Penix and the whole rookie thing, man. Man, you knew Penix should have been the guy 4 or 5 weeks ago. Why not let Penix go with your first team starters 4 or 5 weeks ago? Now you want to bring him up. Now you want to bench. Kirk Cousins and all this stuff like that. And then you want to try to cut his contract and all that. I mean, I got it. You're going to get rid of him. You're going to cut his contract and all this crazy stuff. But you should have been training this guy, putting him in the race, breeding him, letting him understand the concept, letting him be what a quarterback should be.
Jeremy says Penix looked good.
He looked good. 18 for 27, right. 202 yards, 1 interception. He looked good, but he didn't look good beyond that. I think
he looked good for his very first game.
For his first game, right? There's much more in the gas tank, bro.
Right.
It's a lot in the gas tank. Here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
The Falcons gonna struggle with. Well, man, let me say this. The Falcons gonna have a hard time, man. You got a Washington team that looks good, and you got Carolina that won today.
So do you want to make the playoffs, or we rather just wait till next year?
I want to go. I want to go. Let's go.
Okay. Right.
And if we win the division, let's bring one game to Atlanta.
So you should be a Dallas fan today, because y'all be tied, and you got the tiebreaker on them. So that's what I'm saying. You should be a Dallas fan today. Anyway,
I'm with you tonight.
I know. I'm just saying. All right. Any final thoughts on this? I think it was the right decision.
I mean, for that game, man. Like I said, man, I think Penix did a great job, man. But like I said, I think that Raheem Morris them should have thought long and hard. They should have threw this guy into the fight a long time ago. You don't pay a guy all this money to throw 8 picks.
To be fair,
go ahead, Flo.
To be fair, Canteen, I mean, this is a good game to bring him in because the Giants aren't very good. Maybe the last game, the Raiders, maybe that was the time, but you did win that game.
We won that one.
So this is not a bad time to bring him in if you're going to bring him in this year. Otherwise, I think you let him sit and just come in fresh next year. If your plans are to get rid of Cousins anyway.
Cousins going to be gone before
But what I'm saying is that if that was your plans, I wouldn't even make that known to anybody. And just take care of it in the offseason. Just let him finish out the season. It's not like you're going to go deep with this team anyway. It's not like this team.
If the Falcons do win, they'll host the first round game, and that's about it. I don't even know who they're going to match up against in the first round in the playoffs.
Man. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, Jeremy. We're going to talk about that game as well. I don't know if that's true. The Washington are frauds. We'll talk about it. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. So yeah, I think overall, I think it was the right decision to bring him in either this game or the game before, because then you've got a team that it's beatable, right? And he doesn't have to, you don't want to bring him in the next game, which is Washington, right? You don't want to bring him in the last game of the season. Well, maybe you could in the Panthers, but
the Panthers won today.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing tough the last 5 weeks. They've been playing pretty tough.
And we made that point. Me and you made that point a couple of weeks ago, man. The Panthers should have won 3 or 4 of their games that they've lost, bro.
That they've lost. Yeah, it was close. They took the Eagles down to the wire too.
You're absolutely right about that.
All right, so let's move on to the next game. The Cincinnati takes care of business against the lowly Cleveland Browns, 24-16. You can talk stats a little on this one, Canteen, but basically Bengals keep themselves alive for the playoffs. They are alive for the playoffs. What you got to say on this game?
So at this point of the season, Joe Burrow, 23 for 30, 252 yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns. Brown, 18 carries, 91 yards, and Jamar Chase, 6 receptions, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. At this point in the season, I think the Bengals are still viable, but I don't know how their last 2 games are going to be, man. And like I said,
they need a little bit of help. They need a little help.
Yeah, and Flo, for a lot of teams at the end of the year, man, this is like crunch time, man. I mean, this is like, who do the Bengals play for the last 2 games, bro?
The Bengals?
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals, they got the Broncos, which that's going to be a big game. And then they got the Steelers. That's going to be – so they got 2 tough games coming up.
So, and their schedule is going to be tough, and Kansas City's schedule is going to be tough. So, a lot of teams got to play their hearts out to the end, man. So, it's really hard to say how we look at projections when we look at teams and we look at playoff.
Can we say this? If the Bengals can get in, things bounce their way. A couple of teams.
Man.
Let's say the Broncos lose out. Is this a team you don't want to see in the playoffs, or is just, hey man, if they get in, they get in. It's just another team.
Hey Flo, if they get in, they get in. I think they'll make a little noise, but I don't think they'll be a prominent team when it comes to the playoffs at this point in the season, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Burrow's got 39 touchdowns. I mean, he might lead the league in touchdowns. I'm not sure.
And I'm telling you, Burrow's numbers look phenomenal, man.
4,200 yards, 39 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Huh?
Yeah.
You gonna go up? Okay. All right. Just a little information there on the side there. All right.
You good, bro?
Yeah. I think this is a dangerous team if they get in. So we'll see what happens. They do need a little bit of help. Next week, they can kind of help themselves by beating the Broncos. So that's what I was trying to tell Jake last time is like, hey, this is not good if, somehow Kansas City loses. You got the Bengals, and then you got the Chiefs, and the Chiefs might need that game. But you kind of blew it off. Got upset that I even talked about that.
And then the Broncos, they lost on Thursday night, so it's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So let's go ahead and go back there. I don't think Jake's gonna show up. I think he chickened out. So let's go to that game, Thursday Night Football. That was the first game on the docket. It was a tough, hard-fought game, Canteen. Give me your thoughts on this game. Any stats you want to bring up? And to be fair, Canteen, this is what I've been waiting for from Justin Herbert. This kind of game where it's a big game and he comes up with some big plays, big runs, big throws.
I'm about to pull your call. I think you started Herbert on your fantasy team, didn't you? You started Herbert, didn't you? You started Herbert, didn't you? I know you did. I had to.
Hey man, I didn't have a choice.
So
I had Dak before he got hurt.
Right.
I had to pick up a quarterback.
So when we look at this game, man, 27-34. Bo Nix went 29 for 40, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I wish he'd have done this last week. I might have won my game if he'd have done this last week.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the running back Estime, 9 carries, 48 yards, 1 touchdown. Mims, 3 receptions, 62 yards. But Herbert, 23 for 31, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Edwards, 14 carries, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns. And McConkey from Georgia, 6 receptions, 87 yards, man. Man, the Chargers are hot, man. They played a really, really good game. The offense and defense look good on both sides of the ball, man. I think the Broncos, if they had a little more fire at the end, they could have finished strong. But man, it's something about
they started out well, but the second half they kind of flamed out.
And then they kind of faded out, man. So I have to give my kudos to the Chargers at this point in the season. I mean, what do the Broncos do at this point in the season? And I wish Jake was here. I don't know who the Broncos have left. I can't look.
They have the Bengals and then the Chiefs.
I don't know, Jake.
I'm just saying, the Bengals. If the Bengals beat them, they're in trouble.
And Jake, you my boy. Jake, I ain't trying to downplay you. I ain't trying to talk about you. But Jake, if you don't win one of the next two, you're in trouble. And I know you got a good record. You've done well for the season, but you got to at least win both of these games, and you're going to split one, bro.
Here's the good news is if the Chiefs can win next week, and, because we'll talk about them in a minute too, but if they can win against the Steelers next week, they'll probably sit a lot of people for that last game because they've locked it in. They've locked in first place.
But here's the thing. The Chiefs can't lock in first place because the Bills won tonight. The Bills beat the Patriots.
Yeah, they can't.
And then the Bills can beat the Jets, and they got the Patriots again. I think the Bills have an easier way to get the first seed.
Well, they do, but what I'm saying is the Chiefs can afford to lose only one game. If they lose the next game, they're going to play hard that last game because they can't be in a tie with the Bills. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
So the good news for Jake is if they win, and the Broncos, if the Chiefs win next week, then the Broncos will probably have an easier time because they're probably going to rest Patrick Mahomes, or he'll be played just maybe a series or two just to kind of keep him fresh. And he's going to be out. Most of the starters will be out. Anybody who's slightly banged up will be out. So, Travis Kelce will probably be out. Any banged up O-lineman will be out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if the Chiefs can wrap up home field next week, then that bodes well for the Broncos because even if they lose against the Bengals, they can beat a kind of all the second teamers basically for the Chiefs and lock up a playoff spot.
Yes, sir.
So they got to win. I mean, if they win next week, they can wrap it up a little bit, and they don't have to. It's not a must win like it will be if they lose against the Bengals. You know what I mean? For the Broncos. So
you're right.
All right, let us know your thoughts on this playoff race. It's winding down. So the Rams grab hold of first place by beating the Seahawks. A tough, hard-fought game. Let's talk about this game. I know this is not in the order they came in, but I'm just kind of putting item on my list here. But we'll talk about all these games, all these big games.
We're good, bro. We're good, man.
Let's go ahead and talk about Saturday instead of this one real quick because we didn't get to talk about Saturday's game. We kind of skipped over them. Those are some good games. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. I thought it was going to be a little closer game. I thought the key was when both quarterbacks kind of threw a bad interception. The only hard part is that Russell Wilson's interception was a pick six, where Lamar Jackson was just a pick, and it didn't result in any points. So talk about this game. Your thoughts on this game? Now they're tied. Pittsburgh's they got a tough schedule. They got the Chiefs and then the Bengals. Both those teams want to win. They want to win. Where the Ravens, they got the Texans, but then they got the Browns to wrap it up. So they got a little easier end of the schedule. They control their own destiny. I don't know who's got the tiebreakers here. I'm trying to look it up. But what are your thoughts on this game? Ravens beat the Steelers in Baltimore. I know Chap was excited.
Oh, Jay Glad. Jay Glad.
Shout out to Jay Glad.
He went live last night, man. But
he was laughing.
The score was 17-34, man. But Russell Wilson went 22 for 33, 217 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jay Warren 12 carries, 48 yards, and Austin 48 receptions, 65 yards. Lamar Jackson 15 for 23, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Derrick Henry 24 carries, 162 yards, and Zay Flowers 5 receptions, 100 yards. Man, this is the AFC.
And I'm just going to say this real quick. I think Russell Wilson overall had a pretty good game, and he's got this offense down pretty good. And his 2 key mistakes were that pick six, and then when he fumbled, he tried to run it in and fumbled it at the 3-yard line. Those are 2 big mistakes that he made, and he wasn't able to make up for those in the end. But go ahead.
You got 2 10-5 teams, Flo. The AFC North is in tight contention at this point in the season, man. It's really hard to say because I thought that Russell would have played a lot better, but Russell may had a few key mistakes and he did whatever.
Well, he had 2 key mistakes. That's without question. The pick 6 and the one fumble at the 3-yard line where he was almost ran it in. If he would have just slid there and they get a score there, this game is much closer.
Here's my thing, man. Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you take a Steelers team or would you take a Baltimore Ravens team going to the playoffs right now? Who would you take?
I would.
And that's crazy. I asked you that.
I'm not gonna lie. I would take the team that wins the division. I think whoever's got home field there has
take them. Yeah.
I would take in this. Yeah. If Steelers can get home field, win the division, I would take the Steelers to make a better run. Because that first game is always good to have at home, especially if you haven't been in the playoffs in a while for the Steelers. Right. And I think Baltimore needs a home game to start out strong in the playoffs and kind of get them going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whoever wins this division has the inside. I think the inside word on this one. Any final thoughts on this game?
Nah, you good, bro.
All right, so Houston and at KC, tough, hard-fought game. It feels like KC kind of pulled away and late, and they kind of, they sealed it up with some first downs. And tough, hard-fought game. Shout out to Tank Bell, who had a terrible injury to his leg. It didn't look good. C.J. Stroud was crying on the sideline. I don't blame him. That was a good friend of his. And it didn't look good. Tank Dell's probably done for the season. That's not good. The Houston Texans, they have a solid defense, but man, they're banged up on offense. What do you think here? Your thoughts on these two teams? Any stats you want to pull out?
God, let me run through the numbers real quick, bro. C.J. Stroud, 23 for 39, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mixon, 14 carries, 57 yards. Tank Dell, 6 receptions, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Mahomes, 28 for 41, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 11 carries, 55 yards, 1 touchdown. Xavier Worthy, 7 receptions, 65 yards, 1 touchdown. Here's the thing, man. The Chiefs keep finding ways to win football games, man.
Right.
Houston is 9-6. Houston has already solidified and secured the AFC South. I mean, it doesn't matter what anybody else does. Jacksonville, Indianapolis, or Tennessee, nobody does in that division. They've solidified that. They solidified the division at this point. Go ahead, bro.
You don't want to go in losing 2 games, losing 3 in a row, because they got the Chiefs
next
week, or the Ravens next week. They got the Ravens.
Who got the Ravens next week?
Texans.
Who got the Ravens?
Texans.
Lost.
And then they finish up with the Titans, a division game, but they should win that game. So you don't want to lose 2 of your last 3 games going into the playoffs. So yeah, it's a tough road. I think CJ looked better, but man, I think that loss of Tank Dell is going to hurt him. And when it comes playoff time, what do you think?
It's a lot on the table with that loss, man.
Right.
They'll probably be 1 and done, bro.
Yeah.
1 and done, man.
I think they can win a game at home. I think they can win 1 at home. I think they're good enough to win 1 at home. CJ looked better this game. Let's see how he finished out the season. Hey, so real quick, Canteen, right here from Nay0_406 says, I really enjoyed the little I watched. It was good. It was cool. Honestly, you are good, and I really like what you're doing. It's super cool, and I'd like to have a great conversation with you. If you're cool with that, feel free to add me on Discord to Nay0_406. All right. Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you. Appreciate the comment. Hey, maybe you can join the show if you're a sports fan. Join the show and come on the show and talk sports with us. Any final thoughts on this game with the Texans and Kansas City? Kansas City, like we talked about before, they finish out against the Steelers and the Broncos. 2 tough games, but they only need 1 to wrap up first place. So
all I'm saying is I think the Bills are going to be the 1 seed out of the AFC, bro.
How's that? That means the Chiefs got to lose 2 in a row. That's the only way the Bills.
So the Chiefs, they are okay. I got it. So the Chiefs already won. So even it doesn't matter what the Bills do, the Chiefs still gonna have the first seed.
As long as they win one of the next two games, they got to win one. They either got to beat the Steelers or the Broncos. They got to win one of those games.
That's gonna be rough, Flo. That's gonna be rough.
So
I think the Steelers got.
That's what I was talking about. That's what we were talking about earlier. If they lose to the Steelers, they're going to go all out to win that Broncos game because they don't want to be tied with the Bills. Then the Bills get first place. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, Patrick Mahomes looked pretty good on that ankle. I don't think he injured it or re-aggravated it. Looks like they do play again at Christmas, so this is a fast turnaround for both of these teams.
That's what I just said about Mahomes.
Maybe
I don't know.
I wonder if Pickens can play. If Pickens can play, this will be a little better game because he has another weapon. You give Russell back one of his weapons. Pickett. Isn't it Pickett? Pickens? What's his name? That's his name, right?
Come on, man.
He's a good receiver.
Oh,
he's their number one guy.
You said George Pickens. Okay. I got you. George Pickens.
I'm talking about for the Steelers. It's Pickens.
Yeah, George Pickens.
If he can come back, because he was out for this game, that's their number one receiver. I'm saying if he can play against the Chiefs, if he comes back against the Chiefs, I think this gives the Steelers a chance to win that game. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on these two teams?
No, sir.
All right, so let's move on to the Rams and the Jets. We talked about it earlier. Rams trying to finish out strong and win the division. The AFC West. What happened to my music? I don't know what happened to my music. Let's see what happens.
You got my background music, bro. Come on.
Here, there's your music. I finally was able to turn it on. Man. Yeah. Okay, so the Rams trying to finish strong and win this division. They're up a game now. Now with Seattle losing, we'll talk about that game as well. The Rams are in control. They control their own destiny. They control winning this division now. Rams beat the Jets. Talk about this game. They finish out against two divisional opponents, the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Cardinals officially eliminated today.
They got to be by the Panthers today. Yeah.
So the Cardinals may not be one. They maybe just want to ruin the Rams season a little bit, but they're kind of deflated. They're out of the playoffs, and now the Seahawks. That'll be a tough game. It all depends, how they wrap up the season. The Seahawks will have the Bears, so they should win that game next week, and then as long as the Rams take care of business next week, they should win this division.
So this game was a 19-9 game. Matthew Stafford went 14 for 19, 110 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. K. Williams, 23 carries, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. Puka Nacua, 8 receptions, 56 yards. Aaron Rodgers, 28 for 42, 258 yards, 1 touchdown. Hall, 14 carries, 52 yards, and Devontae Adams, 7 receptions, 68 yards, 1 TD.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm scared of the Rams at this point in the season, man.
Okay.
The Rams are a dangerous team. Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, and the entire organization are dangerous at this point in the season going into the playoffs. If they win the NFC West, it's going to be problems. I think so.
They'll get a home game.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, let's see if the playoffs started today, they would be in third place. So they would be playing Green Bay, most likely. So that would be a tough matchup. So it'd be Green Bay and then Washington. And I told Jacob I would be playing Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Again. So this is good that Washington actually beat Philly because at least Philly doesn't have to beat them 3 times like I was saying.
Right.
And
Flo, you made that point earlier. Like if Philly beat them 3 times.
Yeah, you got to beat them 3 times if you beat them this time. So it's kind of almost a blessing in disguise to lose. We'll talk about that game as well in a minute. But the Rams sitting in third place, I don't think they're not going to be able to move up from third place. So they're going to play that 6th place team. Can they win a game at home? You said they're a dangerous team. How deep can they make a run? What do you think?
Man,
The Rams.
The Rams are dangerous, bro. And let me say this right here. The NFC South, if Tampa can win the NFC South and beat the Falcons, they dangerous. Because they beat they have beat some prominent teams this year.
They beat the Bills.
My
just
point.
Recently.
My point.
Right.
So it's hard to say right now, bro. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say, bro.
This is the only thing. It just feels like those Rams a little inconsistent on offense. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because they're able to scheme them up pretty good. They got Puka. They got Cup. Cup hasn't been the same since he came off that injury. You know what I mean? He a couple of years ago, he's never really been the same. So I think if they can start hitting on all cylinders, I think the Rams, these last 2 games, they got to finish strong. I think they got to win these games convincingly to go into the playoffs feeling good about themselves. That's what I think.
Yeah,
then maybe you'll be scared. And
here's the thing about a team like in NFC West and South, they're in cahoots, bro. And they won't be solidified until after week 18. Those divisions won't be solidified. Like, we know that the Eagles gonna win the NFC East, right? It's solidified, right?
Right.
But like the South and the West, they're not gonna be solidified until after we finish the season, man.
Or even the North Canteen with the Lions and the Vikings winning this week.
And the Vikings. My point,
we'll talk
brother.
about those. We'll talk about those 2 teams. But yeah, talking about this division, they control it as long as they beat the Cardinals. I feel like they've controlled this division. I don't know who else has a chance to make the playoffs there. Let me see. I'm trying to get it.
I mean, it'll probably be the Rams of Seattle, man. 49ers are done.
Yeah, I mean, because Washington just solidified themselves. I mean, Washington would have to lose their last 2 games for Seattle to get in, to be honest, Canteen, because they got 7 losses. So Washington would have to lose their last 2 games.
They done.
I think Seattle's done. Atlanta, of course, still has a chance because you got the tiebreaker against the Bucks. But we
got to beat the Commanders and we got to beat the Panthers.
Right. So any final thoughts on that game? Or those 2 teams, the Jets, I mean, at this point, should they just, let Rodgers rest or just let him finish out as the starter? Because he's going to be back next year, it looks like.
What you trying to prove, Aaron? Flo, let me ask you something. What am I trying to prove, Aaron Rodgers? What are we trying to prove, big dog? What are we trying to prove with him?
But does this help the team to finish out strong with a couple of wins going into next year, get some momentum?
I mean, they can win out, but they got a whole lot of work to do, man.
Right.
I mean, win out. I mean, right now you got Kansas City 1, Buffalo 2, Detroit 3. You know, win out. Just win out, man. Win out, man.
Yeah, I mean, it'd make them feel better, I guess. Yeah. So, I'm here on the road. Give us your comments. Make sure you hit that like button. Go find us at the Bottom Line Sports. This is the Sunday Surge, NFL Sunday Surge. Me and Canteen going solo. Jake didn't want to show up because his Broncos lost, I guess. His Broncos lost. He didn't want to show up. Maybe he'll blame it on last week's little kerfuffle. I don't know, but hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, I appreciate you.
We here, man. We here.
Hey, Canteen. Look, you see this picture?
That's you and your wife when you got married, young man.
Yeah.
Alberto.
Long time ago. You want to see it? Or can you see it, the picture?
Yeah, I see you, man. Come on, bro. I know you. Berto.
Yeah, that's our wedding picture. Me and my wife.
Hey, hit that leg.
I wish I had my stuff. I don't have it.
Come on, man. Nah, man. But seriously though, bro.
Yeah.
We good, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. We good. Like, don't allow distractions, man. I'm not worried about distractions. We're gonna do what we do. I'm not worried about no distractions.
And Indianapolis and Miami both won as well, Canteen. I mean, their only shot is if Denver loses their last 2.
Who Denver got for the last two?
Denver's got Denver
Kansas
has
City?
Kansas
City.
Kansas City, yeah. And then no, they got the Bengals and then Kansas City. So there's a possibility they lose those last two.
They'll split.
At least one.
Split.
Yeah, if they split, then the Broncos are in for sure. You know, the Chargers, I think they got an easy schedule finishing out. They got an easier schedule than the Broncos. And they swept them this year, so they own the tiebreaker against the Broncos. They got the Patriots and the Raiders. So, yeah. They should win both of those games. I mean, they should.
They should.
They should win both those games.
That's a big word.
Yeah,
should.
Definitely Broncos got a tough schedule coming up. So the Vikings, let's talk about this game, Canteen. The Vikings at the Seahawks. Tough, hard-fought game. Seahawks fought hard. This was kind of their last grasp at trying to win that division. And they lose a tight game against the Vikings. Man, I'm just waiting for Aaron Donald to hit pumpkin mode, but he's been solid. I mean, maybe it'll happen in the playoffs.
Flo, here's what you understand is, man, it's 27-24. Donald went 22 for 35, threw for 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 18 carries, 67 yards. Justin Jefferson, 10 catches, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith looked good too now. 31.
He did pretty good.
Geno
Smith, a couple of picks though.
31 for 43, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kenneth Walker, 8 carries, 31 yards, and Enigma, 8 carries, 8 receptions, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. Here's the thing, man. It was a hard fought battle across the board, man.
Remember, Geno's got 30. He's got 14. He's only got 14 touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
So answer this question, brother. Who does Seattle have left on the docket?
Okay. Seattle, well, I know the Rams is one of them. The Bears and then the Rams. Bears and the Rams. Hit that like button if you haven't done that. Appreciate you out there watching. Join the conversation. Go ahead.
Shout out to everybody watching us tonight, man. Oh, man. The Bears and who?
The Bears and then the Rams.
They might split that one, Flo. Might split it, bro.
Yeah, but they're done. They got to win both of those to have a chance. They got to win. They for sure got to beat the Rams, but they got to win both of those games to have a chance. You know what I'm saying? They got to win both of those games to have a chance. Seattle's done, you think?
I don't think Seattle can win. I don't think they can win 2 in a row, bro. That's the problem.
Well, they got the Rams at the end. That's what I'm saying.
And they got the Rams at home on the road.
Let me see who they got. Where are they at? Okay. They're at the Bears and at the Rams. So 2 road games to finish out the season. They can beat the Bears, I think.
They ain't gonna be able to beat the Rams, bro. It ain't looking good.
But it's that last game.
And like I said, like I think a lot of teams, the last game gonna be their kryptonite. Their last game gonna be their kryptonite, bro. And I don't think they're gonna win the last game, dog. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, man.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's
we
hard.
can kind of scoop.
Go ahead, man.
No, I'm saying we can scoop this together once you're done with the Rams. We talked about you're talking about the Rams. No, what were we talking about? The Vikings and the Seahawks. When we talk about the Seahawks, we can talk also about the next game because the Vikings and the Lions are in a battle for first place. But go ahead.
Right, man. Man,
Seahawks.
It's hard to say it's hard to say what the team's gonna do at the end of the season, Flo. I mean, if you got to go balls to the wall, that means you got to go balls to the wall. I mean, you got to go hard, all the way through, man.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit, I thought they were vulnerable in that game against the Bears because their defense is banged up, of course. Who who was it? Jeremy was saying that it was overrated. Let's see what he goes back. He says reports. This is what Jeremy said earlier. The reports of our defense injuries are greatly overrated. We had only 5 starters injured. The rest are role players. So, I mean, 5 starters is not too bad, but that's still a good chunk of your defense. 5 starters is not easy, depending on, of course, Hutchinson went down early in the season. Do you think this will be a detriment for the Lions? Both the Lions and the Vikings.
Here's my thing about
win.
My thing about the
Go
Lions,
ahead.
I think the Lions are the strongest team out of the NFC North. And
the Vikings have a better
NFC
defense.
Period.
Right.
You just made a good point, man. It depends. It depends, Flo. It depends, man. The football keeps going back and forth, bro.
Here's the thing, though. The Vikings and the Lions, if they both win next week, that last game is going to be for the division. They're going to play each other. That last game, the Vikings and the Lions are going to play. That might be for the division. The thing is, though, it feels like the Lions got a little easier next game. The Lions play the 49ers, to where the Vikings, who do they play? The Vikings play the Packers next game. So Vikings have a bigger chance of losing than I think the Lions playing the 49ers team that's pretty much down and out, right?
It's hard to say, Flo. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
hard.
essentially that last game still could be for the division, because if they beat the Lions, they'll both have the same record as long as they beat the Lions. And I think the Vikings wouldn't the Vikings have the tiebreaker? Do you know, Ken? Who won that last game?
I think the Vikings will have the tiebreaker,
no.
man.
Well, no, it looks like
the Lions will have the tiebreaker when
they split. They would have split. Let's see what their division games. So they will both have 1 loss in division. I don't know when it comes to conference. So I think the Lions have the tiebreaker if they end up with the same record. So the Vikings need a win next week against the Packers, and then see what happens. I mean, who do you like to win? The Lions, who are kind of banged up, especially on defense. I mean, he says only 5 starters, but that's still.
You said the Lions at the Packers?
The Lions next week, they're at the 49ers, but the Niners are out pretty much. They just lost against the Dolphins. They got 9 losses. They're going to end up 8-9 at best. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
So they should win that game. The Vikings got a tougher game against the Packers. The Packers are trying, they would like to beat the Vikings. I don't think they can move up in the standings if they win. See, Packers. Well, I mean, they could. The Packers.
I mean, I think the Vikings should win at home, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should win at home.
Against
be a
the
close
Packers?
game. I have to sit back. And
the Packers
and all that stuff.
The Packers are going to try and fight, because if they give the Vikings another loss, the Vikings could very well lose against the Lions, and then they would be tied with the Vikings, and maybe they would move up into second place in the division.
Yeah. Right.
So the Vikings got a tough road to hang on to that, that division race, and hopefully they both win, and then the Lions and the Vikings play for the division. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In that last game, don't you think? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Any other games we're going to talk about? I think we covered most of the games. Hey, I was going to mention real quick, Jacksonville, Las Vegas. I only bring it up because it looks like Las Vegas won that game. Are they trying to get out of the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes canteen? What the heck? What are the Raiders doing?
Man,
they won that game against Jacksonville.
Both teams are 3-12 at this point. I think Shedeur might end up going to the Giants, man.
That's what I'm saying. The Giants are doing what they're supposed to do. Lose.
Yeah, Shedeur might go to the Giants, bro.
I mean, do you think he wants to go there?
I don't think it really matters at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really think it matters. I think it's about the numbers, and his dad is very influential, and I think his dad is going to do what Archie Manning did for his son. Eli should have went to the Chargers, but then Eli ended up being a Giant. So I think
right.
I think influential personalities and numbers and stuff like that are going to make calls and do things like that, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the Raiders trying to get out of the Shador sweepstakes by winning. They should have lost that game, really. They should have
lost, man.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to lose convincingly, like lose without throwing the game. It's kind of hard, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to lose and not look like you're throwing the game.
But crazy, man.
Yeah, so the Bills is the last game we'll talk about. Hard-fought game against the Patriots. Patriots, Drake May, they have their quarterback, looks like. But it was a hard-fought game, 24-21. You can talk about anything on this game you want to talk about and finish up your thoughts on these teams and especially the Bills.
Man, Drake May went 22 for 36, 261 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Stevenson, 12 carries, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Boot, 5 receptions, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Allen, 16 for 29, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Cook,
James Cook, 11 carries, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, and he was the receiver for 3 receptions, 26 yards, 1 touchdown. Here's the point, man. The Bills are cooking, man. They're cooking. And here's my point, Flo. If the Bills don't cook and get to the Super Bowl this year, then they done cooking, man. I mean, damn. I mean, like the Bills got the recipe. They're doing well. They have succeeded. They have exceeded everybody's expectations. What y'all waiting on? I think Josh Allen will be the NFL MVP.
I mean, he only had 154 yards.
That's just one game, bro.
It wasn't a great game.
I mean, it was a back and forth game.
Is this a team you should cook up? The Patriots?
Who?
Isn't this a team that he should cook up a little bit? I mean, I know it's a
He
divisional
should have
game.
barbecued them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't this go against his MVP?
He gonna barbecue the Jets next week.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They play the Jets.
He got the Jets next week, then he got the Patriots after that.
Right. You gonna barbecue both of them?
Gonna kill them both of them.
Okay.
Easy money.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to say.
But here's the thing. What do you think about this, Canteen? If both the Chiefs and the Bills, if they both win, the Chiefs have first place locked up. Is there a chance that the Bills rest Josh Allen in that last game because they can't move up? And then how does that bode for?
I mean,
he looked like he was hurt. He was shaking his hand. You see him? He was messing with his hand.
I would rest him.
Yeah.
Let him rest.
Because they're not going to move up if both the Chiefs and
rest him, my brother. Rest him.
Now, if they do end up resting him, does this look bad for his MVP case? Because he's going to have one less game that he played.
Don't even matter. Rest him.
Because I think Lamar will probably have to play those last games. You know what I mean?
Let him rest.
Okay.
Let him rest, big dog. Let him rest.
And don't worry about the MVP.
Don't worry about nothing else.
Don't worry about the MVP.
To me,
I'm just saying that
MVP. I'm trying to get a Super Bowl.
Okay. I mean, because then Lamar's it may edge into the MVP race, edge back in ahead of, because Lamar's gonna have what's he gonna have left? He has a Texas team that he might could look good against them. He plays them in Texas, in Houston, and then he's got a Browns team that he can cook up a little bit, and he's gonna look great. I mean, don't you think that? Would you, if it was a close, would you go ahead and play Allen for a half or something, or do you think just rest him? Because that game would be.
Let him rest, bro. Let him rest.
Okay. Get ready for the playoffs. Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about MVP stuff.
Let him rest.
Huh?
Let him rest, big dog. Let him rest, bro.
Okay. Let us know what you guys think.
We got bigger fish to fry, man.
If KC and the Bills win, do you let Allen rest that last game and let everybody get healthy? I mean, that would have been his first MVP. All right, let's talk about tonight's game and then tomorrow's game. Sunday Night Football that just started. Tampa Bay at Dallas. Tampa Bay still trying to win that division against your Falcons. This loss would give them a tie, and then you guys would jump back into first place. With the Washington Commanders winning Canteen, that eliminates the Cowboys from the playoffs. So a little bit of deflated. Do you think that'll show in this game, or do you think the Cowboys will play hard? Because they've been playing hard, even though they lost that Bengals game. That was kind of deflating, but they still ended up playing hard. What are your thoughts on this game? I'm going Cowboys by 10. I think the Cowboys are going to play their best football for the rest of the year, man. Cowboys by 10, bro. And Rico Dotto's, he had 400-yard rushing games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's helped Cooper Rush, to be fair. That's helped. Having that solid running game has helped Cooper Rush. And I need, for my fantasy, I need a CD to have a good game.
My fantasy looks bad, bro.
Yeah. I think there's one more game. I haven't looked to see who's winning. I should look to see who's winning right now just to kind of see, but just to get them folks. So let's see who's.
I'm probably gonna be gone. I'm gone, man.
You already gone. Me and you both gone. So let me see here. Here we go. Bottom Line Sports. I'm in a couple of leagues here, so let me see. So the playoffs. You got K-Town Bombers versus Ball Buds Boom. And they're beating Ball Buds Boom, which is Omar's team. So, and they just beat me. K-Town Bombers just beat me. So they're on a roll. And they have a losing record, Canteen. They're 6-8. They just beat me and they're beating Ball and Buds Boom. And then we got Fanatic versus Love Hurts. Looks like Love Hurts is gonna win. Looks like the finals in our Bottom Line Sports is gonna be Love Hurts versus K-Town Bombers. Yeah. I think he was in the finals last year.
Dominique.
Yeah, I think he was in the final last year. Man, so looks like it's gonna be Love Hurts unless something dramatic happens in this last couple games. K-Town Bombers have a 99% chance to win what's left, and K-Town Bombers have a 99% chance to beat Ball Buds Boom. So it will probably be K-Town Bombers versus Love Hurts. That's W Mount is part of the K-Town Bombers. They were in 6th place, Canteen. They were 6-8, and they're going to be in the championship. Can you believe that?
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't talk about it.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts, guys. Appreciate you enjoying the show. So you got the Cowboys by 10. They just scored a field goal.
Cowboys by 10 now, man. Cowboys.
Well, now, give me your thoughts going into the offseason. Now, the Cowboys have nothing to play for now, but it looks like they're still playing tough. Do you think they finish out and just win out? And
Cowboys will win out. I mean, the Cowboys will win out for the rest of the year, but you got to make decisions that are going to benefit the betterment of the organization.
If they win out, what are the chances McCarthy's coming back? And do you think we should keep him?
You should, man. Why you get rid of him?
That's what I said. But
bring in some good players, man. Bring in the best crop that you can bring in so that you can win, man. He's not a bad coach.
This is what I say, Canteen. I mean, our defense, if they're healthy, look good. I think we need to just bring in some depth. Because once our starters get hurt, it's tough. You know, Sam Williams was our starting defensive end on the other side of Micah. And then, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence got hurt. He hasn't come back. Bland was hurt most of the season. And now last week, we lost Diggs for the rest of the season. Diggs is out. He's not playing.
Yeah.
So we've been banged up on defense. And then we lost Overshone like 3 weeks ago with a bad knee injury. And so I think the defense is solid. We need a little depth. And I think we should shore up the offensive line a little bit. Do you think we should move forward with Rico Dotto? Is he going to be the future?
Hold on to him.
You think so? Because
He-
everybody was
he's good.
giving him a
He's-
hard
he's-
time, clowning him.
He's been solid for this year.
I'm just the last 4 games for sure, but they were clowning him most of the year.
Hold on to him, man. Why get rid of him? He's been solid. Don't get rid of him.
Yeah. I think we should get another back, though. I think we should get another, maybe a second or third rounder to kind of give him a 1-2 punch with Rico. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, man.
I don't think we're going to get Ashton Jonty because I think he's going to be gone.
He's gonna be gone. He's gonna be out the board quick, man.
But I think we should pick a running back in no later than the 3rd round. I think we should pick up another running back. That's my opinion.
Right.
Maybe get a couple of offensive linemen in the first couple rounds, or maybe get an offensive lineman and then maybe another D line, or maybe another, maybe a safety in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
Show up some of the defense. But yeah, let's talk about the last game. I know I'm a Cowboy fan. There's no really interest except for Cowboys fans. But I know Tampa Bay fans want to win this game. But what about New Orleans against Green Bay? The Packers should win this game. I think Carr's out. Do you know if Carr's out for this game? I know he got injured.
I'm looking right now.
See, I think he's out. Yeah, Derek Carr's out. It's going to be Spencer Rattler. Do you give the Saints a chance to win this game? I mean, they're 14-point underdogs on Monday Night Football. I figured Green Bay should take care of business here. What are your thoughts?
In Green Bay, in that cold and all that snow?
Yeah.
Green Bay by 7, man.
Okay, Green Bay by 7.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, I gave Jordan Love a hard time because most of the season, except for the last couple of weeks, he looked kind of shaky. I'm not lying. He looked kind of shaky. The last 2 or 3 games, he's looked a lot better. And I think that's good. That bodes good for them. And I think Green Bay should win this game. And then next week they go in and play the Vikings. And that'll be a big division game next week. What are your thoughts on Green Bay? If they stay where they're at now in the playoffs, they'll be Green Bay, if it ends right now, just like it is, they'll be the 6th seed. Playing the Rams. You give them a chance against the Rams?
Nah, man. No, sir.
So you think Green Bay will be one and done?
Done. Out of there. Gone.
Tony the Savant's Green Bay, one and done.
Bye-bye, Big Tony. Bye-bye.
This is the bandwagon that Jake jumped on. Remember, he jumped back on the Green Bay bandwagon last week.
He did do that.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, right now, man, I mean, the season is, I mean, we'll know in 2 weeks who is what and who's going to do what.
Right.
We will know.
Okay, so right now the Cowboys are leading 3-0 in the middle of the first quarter, 7:38. Let us know your thoughts. Who you think is going to win this game? Any thoughts on the games we talked about? Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the like, join the conversation. Any of these things we talked about, I'll go back and I'll look at the comments. Jake chickened out because his Broncos lost. I guess he didn't want to talk about it. He'll blame it on last week's kerfuffle. But
man. We beyond that. We beyond.
That's
that.
what I said. I thought this is like 2 weeks ago already. Hey, so we're
ain't
gonna do a
blaming
Christmas show.
No more, man.
We're gonna do Christmas Day show. We got a lot to talk about with the college football.
No, bro. Christmas Day. If it's me and you, or if it's Omar, whoever, we got to talk about the playoffs. We got to talk about the college football playoffs. We got a lot to talk about. So we're gonna do a same. I prefer Christmas Day, man, because I got a lot
to talk about.
Me and my wife and her family got a lot of events going on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. Me and my wife and her family got stuff on Christmas Eve, so we're busy on Christmas Eve. But
Eve, a lot of people do. That's what I'm saying. Most people do stuff Christmas Eve, Christmas morning. So we're gonna do our regular show. The Bottom Line Sports, we'll talk about all the different sports. We'll talk about college football, talk about basketball. We're gonna do that
Christmas night.
Wednesday, Christmas Day, a Christmas Day special.
At what time? 7:30.
I got my Cowboys Santa hat. I got regular time 6:30 Central, 7:30, or it'd be 6.
I will send you a lineup tomorrow, bro. I will send you a lineup tomorrow.
So you want 6 or 6:30?
No. I
6,
said I will
right?
send you a lineup. I'll send you a lineup of what we're gonna talk about tomorrow.
Oh no, it's usually 7. It's usually 7 Central.
Yeah,
8.
let's do 7. Yeah, I said we good, but I'm gonna see topics tomorrow.
Oh, topics tomorrow. We got plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do 6:30. Maybe we could do a little early.
Let's roll. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm free. Let's do it. Let's go.
We'll put it in the chat. If not, it will be back at 7 on Wednesday, Christmas Day. I hope all you guys have a Merry Christmas. A Happy New Year. We don't see you. And real quick, Canteen, I'm going to bring it down for a second, real quick. Hey, during the holiday season, you know, there's always someone out there that needs somebody to talk to, having a tough time. You know, sometimes during the holidays, it's not good for everybody. Some people have some bad thoughts, and just reach out to somebody and, hey, ask them how they're doing. The suicide rate is bad. We all know in the military, me and Canteen in the military, we know about the suicide rate. Someone out there needs help somewhere, and just reach out and just say hi and just see how they're doing. You never know where someone's at that time, and you can never know how you can help intervene in a situation when someone's going through something. So reach out when you can, and reach out to somebody and just check on them. I took that from Cool McCain. He did that at the end of one of our shows, and I appreciate that. And I just want to give a shout out to him and just say, hey, reach out to somebody and check on them during this holiday season. See how they're doing. All right. Any final thoughts, Ken?
I got to roll, man. I got to jump on another call. I'll see you Tuesday, bro.
All right, man. We'll see you next time. Bottom Line Sports. Peace.
Much love, bro. Be peace. Be good, man.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, Let's Talk Sport fans. Thanks for watching.